Today, I come to you about the COVID-19 crisis, and I want to talk to you about how to lead through crisis. We've been helping churches with their care ministry for several years. So, we want to help you right now in this lockdown quarantine, and we don't know how long it's going to last, what the fallout is, but we know we should be thriving. And so our pastoral team is with me. Today, we have Pastor Patrice Wilkins, who's going to talk about being missional. She oversees our international and our local missions. Pastor Michael Holmes, who is our care pastor. He'll be talking about care. And Executive Pastor Corey Lucas, who will talk to you about media and giving online. And so I just want to challenge you out of the Word of God. The Fellowship of the Believers in Acts chapter 2, verses 42 and 43 have something vibrant to say to us. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. Last Saturday night, we had 65 prayer partners online for Zoom. We had a powerful 45-minute prayer meeting. So, bathe everything in prayer and use media. So there are four things we want to talk to you about today, four topics for discussion. That's care, media, giving, and how to be missional in this crisis. And at the very end, we have a special treat. Some of our apostle leaders from Honduras, they're suffering as well. We have something special to present to them. So I want you to watch that. I think it'll touch your heart because the church needs to continue to give even as we're in crisis ourselves. So I'm going to go first to Pastor Michael, and he's going to talk to us about how to care for the body.
Thanks, Pastor John. So before we get into this topic of care, I want to read the scripture here, Acts 2:44 through 45. And it says that all the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. And it's a powerful example of the early church and the way that they cared for one another. And us as a pastoral team, we ask that question. How can we care for our people in this crisis that will sustain, that will last, and make sure that people don't fall through the cracks? And so I want to show and highlight this Freedom Care flow chart that we created for us, but I want to encourage you to use it as a resource for yourself that you can refer back to. And you'll notice that our care is split into two different things that actually work together. On the left side is our Freedom Care Network, and we're going to talk about that first. And then on the right, you saw our Freedom Care calls, and we'll get into that in just a moment. We needed a place in this time of quarantine where people could communicate that they have a need and that us as a church working together could also help meet that need. And so I just want to encourage you to explore this for yourself, but we created a private Facebook group that our entire church could be a part of to where they could communicate that very thing. It was the platform that they needed to be able to share those things. And within our church, we have some Facebook moderators that help facilitate that communication. So when a need is expressed, that they can jumpstart the conversation and connect people. And the beautiful thing about this platform and meeting needs is it eliminates the middleman in that people can have direct connection and communication with one another and expressing those needs. And so for us in this time of crisis, we wanted to emphasize basic needs. And so it's a beautiful thing that through this care network, like you can see here, people can comment. And whether it's someone needing a pickup for medication or senior adults needing groceries picked up, or maybe someone's experiencing a toilet paper shortage, that this is a platform that people could use to communicate those things, and us as a church rally together to meet them. And then I want to talk about the Freedom Care calls for a moment. So we have 65 leaders in our church right now that are overseeing different groups of people, and weekly they are calling them. And these weekly calls connect to check on them to see how they're doing spiritually, emotionally, and seeing if those physical needs are being met. And after each call, those leaders fill out a report that we as a pastoral team can review and look to. And so this is a Google form, and we call it our touch point form. And people have the ability to, right after this phone call, log on and communicate how that phone call went. And so we gather all of this information weekly, and then I put it into a report that I send to our lead pastor, Pastor John, for him to review. And it's cool how it automatically forms the responses with a timestamp, the name of who called, and the person that they're caring for. And it's just a powerful tool that people can use. And you'll notice on that care chart that the Facebook platform and the call platform work together in tandem to where the Facebook moderators, when a need is communicated, can connect with the vision team people as well. And it works together in a streamlined way. And we hope it's a blessing for you. Really want to encourage you to create your own platform. Use the leaders that are in your church to call and care for your people in a strategic way. That way, no one falls through the cracks and everyone's needs are met in an intentional way. So I want to take a moment to pass it off to Pastor Corey, and he's going to share about the social media and the giving.
Thanks, Pastor Michael. And as we're continuing with this thought in Acts 2, right here in verse 46, every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. I don't know about you, but this isolation has been interesting because we are so used to being social physically. And we've had social media, we've had all these different platforms to connect with people through the internet, but there's still that daily interaction with people. And right now, with that being gone, it feels a little crazy. And I think some people thought they would like it more than they do. And other people thought they wouldn't like it, and they are liking it. But either way, what we found is people need connection during this time. And it's not enough just to touch base with them every now and then. It's an important, meaningful connection. And so social media platforms are vital during this time. Facebook usually makes up a demographic of about 30 and over. Instagram makes up a demographic about 30 and under. And then YouTube is used pretty much as a platform for almost all videos to go live, to go viral. And so if you're interacting and engaging with these platforms, you're going to be connecting with the majority of your audience. And what's important is to connect with them often. One of the things that we were doing is we went live Sundays and Wednesdays, like every good church does. But what we're realizing in this time, there needs to be more interaction. So on Facebook specifically, and Instagram and YouTube, we actually ramped up our meetings. We go live every morning at 9 a.m. with a pre-recorded devotional, an introduction from Pastor John, and then one of the people in our church, all of the leaders, giving the devotional. But it's an encouraging word, and it's daily at 9 a.m. And then at 9 p.m., Pastor John and his family go live from their house as another touch point. The 9 a.m. is about 5 to 7 minutes. 9 p.m. is about 15 minutes. And these are great ways just to get in people's homes and get in their lives. And it really does feel like you have that face-to-face interaction with them. So when you're crafting these messages and these ideas, here's what the focus needs to be on: meaning, message, and connection. So simple and real beats polished and professional all day, especially right now. People want to see the live aspect. They want to see you in your environment where you're at. So be sure that you have meaning with what you're saying. Your message is very clear, and that you're being engaging and connecting. And sometimes it's okay just to get a little closer to the screen. Sometimes it's okay just to get right there in their face and just let them know you're there with them and you're walking this road with them. Another aspect, probably the biggest shift we've had, is think daily, not weekly. So connect with them daily. And I told you how we're doing it. And it's been amazing. The engagement has went viral with our groups, and then them sharing and posting again. And the encouragement and feedback has been overwhelming. We're really excited about it. And we're believing this is going to help you as well. Now, on the giving side, here are some platforms with free options. They're out there. You can go look them up. Something you need to make note of is all online giving options have fees for transactions. So it's not entirely free, but there are small fees associated. So you can look at all of these. The one we use is right there at the bottom, online giving. It's the platform that for us has provided the most features and one button clicks to give, which is really important. And so before we got into this, we really pushed online giving here at Freedom. And we got up to about 65% from 20% of our people giving online. And then now during this time, we're at about 85%. Because we've really made it available and we're pushing everything that way. So I want to encourage you, invest in an online platform so that people can continue to give the Lord his tithe during this season. And pass it over to Pastor Patrice now, and she's going to talk about how we can stay missional through this process.
Acts chapter 2, verses 46 and 47 says, "Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes, and they ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all people." You know, Pastor Corey mentioned that social media is vital, and it's the best way to stay connected. So in this next segment, we will focus on ways to use social media in being missional while leading through a crisis. So let us begin with the why. When we talk about the why, the idea here is to help your members to maintain a missional momentum for the physical church in the context of a virtual platform. So how do you do that? This is how we do it. Let us move now to the how. So when we're talking about how we do this, we're going to look at two specific ways to stay connected by using social media. The first is understanding the evangelism activations that are already built into the social media platforms. The second is to identify ways of staying connected to your international partnerships. Now let's move to the what. The practical components of being missional is knowing what ways social media can be used as an evangelism tool. We will highlight the simplest way. Social media has all the evangelism activations built into the program to encourage a long-time relational connection. These connections are simply by the clicks of a button. These buttons are like, follow, and share icons. So the connections are simply just by touching the button. So if you want to know how to introduce this feature to your viewers, the language may go something like this. We're excited that you have joined us on this journey. We want to encourage you to like our page, but also consider following us as well. If you will follow us, then you are sure to receive updates and other news on what is happening at the church, which you can then share to your family, your friends, your neighbors, and your colleagues. You see, in this way, the sharing feature becomes most important in the evangelism process. You'll find that the like, follow, and share push notifications can be used with every social media post. These posts can be digital videos of teachings, chat rooms that address gender-specific issues, or smaller clips like testimonials, or even spotlight a volunteer. Another tool to use is Instagram. Instagram allows users to share photos and videos from their lives and then add captions. These posts can be any favorite archived memory of your church event. Or what about this? What about an current event? What if you ask your members to post their favorite Easter family photo? This keeps a visual before the viewers of the times of celebration. Again, the idea here is to maintain a missional momentum and to encourage your physical church to engage in evangelism using a virtual platform. Now we'll transition into how you can stay connected in your international partnerships. To maintain partnership connections on your mission fields, contact your partnerships once a week through media platforms of Zoom, Facebook, or Instagram. Your conversations can go like this, or they can include prayer requests or even knowledge sharing on certain how-tos. But right now, we're going to go to Pastor John. We have two guests with us that he will actually introduce a little bit later.
Thank you, Pastor Patrice. Acts 2:47b says, "And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved." So all this connectivity and care is about moving forward and taking people into a process of salvation. So I'm so excited about that. I'm excited about what Jesus is doing at Freedom and what he's going to do in your life. So right now we're going to go to our friends from Honduras and see what God's doing, and then we have a blessing for them. Thank you for joining us today. We want you to stick around for this moment. Greetings, friends. It's good to see my friends from Honduras. We're joined by Pastor Neri Escoto and his lovely daughter, Alejandra. Glad to have you guys. They're in Tegucigalpa, Honduras, overseeing 3 powerful churches. And then another friend of mine, Wilfredo Nunez. Hello. Good to have you today with us. He is in the Alancho district of Honduras in Catacamas and oversees 5 powerful churches there. Both of these men are apostles, and they're connected to our Freedom Network. We've been down there many times doing trainings, doing life with them. We love these churches and these people. I wanted to share some scriptures out of the letter that Paul wrote to the Corinthian church, 1 Corinthians 8, 1 and 2, and then verse 15. And now, brothers and sisters, we want you to know about the grace that God has given the Macedonian churches. In the midst of a very severe trial, their overflowing joy and their extreme poverty welled up in rich generosity. And then verse 15 goes on and says, as it is written, the one who gathered much did not have too much, and the one who gathered little did not have too little. And so we love these scriptures that Paul wrote. And we just wanted to say to you guys that we know you are going through the same thing we're going through right now. We are in quarantine. You are in quarantine. We're not able to visit with friends. You're not able to visit with friends, but we can connect with you like we are today. So the people of freedom love you and have gotten together and have taken an offering for your families personally. And we're going to send monies to you very quickly, just to assist your family to get whatever food you need, to take care of you if you need medicine. But the people of freedom just wanted to say how much we love you, how much we appreciate you, and we so appreciate doing life with you. So God bless you, friends, and thank you for being a part of our lives.